Like, oh goddamn, that's the bitch that I want. Oh goddamn, diamonds all in my front. Like 7 a.m, I was fucking your love. 11 a.m, you put that bitch right to brunch. Like, oh goddamn, that's the bitch that I want.
Okay guys, it actually takes a lot longer to go through all of the settings than I thought, and I've been trying to do this video for a while, and it would end up being like a 15-20 minute video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from least important to most important settings, and I'm also going to have the settings listed as which ones are personal preferences, like whether it's a setting that you can choose for yourself or whether it's a setting that everyone should absolutely play on. It is definitely a necessity to play on that setting. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump straight into the settings. So to start us off, we're going to start off with gameplay settings. We start off with the crosshair and damage feedback. This is a personal preference. All it is whether you will have a shield icon or without a shield icon. You should never have the setting as off because it will actually affect your aim. You need the X to help center your shot when you're shooting, but I have mine with the shield icon on. This is personal preference, shield icon or no icon, it's up to you. Okay, the next one is damage numbers. Guys, super important. This is definitely not a personal preference. Everyone should have their damage number set to stacking because stacking actually affects your aim. It helps you track and it helps you aim better, like when you're shooting someone through caustic or Bangalore smoke, and it just helps your tracking in general. It should never be set to floating or both, okay, because when the damage numbers are not over your enemy's head and they're kind of floating around, it doesn't really help with your tracking at all. So everyone, not a personal preference, your damage number should absolutely 100% be set to stacking. Weapon auto cycle, this is a personal preference. This is basically automatically attempting to cycle to your next weapon when you're pretty much out of ammo. I have mine set to on. A lot of the times I forget to switch my guns or something like that, so I have mine set to on. This is a personal preference. I hear a lot of people say that they like to have complete control over whether they're ready to switch their weapon or not, so it's up to you guys and whatever you're comfortable with. The next setting is auto sprint. I have mine set to off. I feel like I should have complete control of my character when I'm moving around in the middle of a fight. I don't want to be like toggling on and off my sprint when I'm in the middle of a fight. This is a personal preference though. I have mine set to off. I like to have complete control of my character. However, it's up to you, whatever you're comfortable with. Double tap to sprint, have that set as off. Incoming damage feedback, guys, I think everyone's incoming damage feedback should be set to 3D. This is basically the arrows, like when you get shot, that pop up around you that indicate where the enemy is shooting from. 3D is better. It allows you to locate enemies better when you get shot. If it's set to 2D, I feel like it's harder to track where that enemy is. 3D is better, I believe. This is not a personal preference. Yours should also be set to 3D. Taking damage closes your death box. Guys, this is a super important setting. Okay, everybody should have this set to off. This is basically when you open up someone's death box and you take damage, it will automatically close it for you if you have this set as on. And you have to be able to switch through body armors, you know, body armor swaps, getting heals while taking damage, while you're in caustic smoke or in the middle of a fight. You don't want every single time you get shot it closes the death box. Okay guys, this should be absolutely set to off. Extremely important setting. Okay, next, the big stuff, right, what we're all looking for, the controller settings. My button layout, I have it set to customize. I have my melee button set to RB. Okay, and that's just because I feel like when you click the right stick, punching with the right stick is kind of weird. This is definitely a personal preference. That's just what I like to use whatever you're comfortable with. Stick layout, have mine set to default. That's also a personal choice. Interact, reload, toggle, crouch, toggle, aim button, hold and toggle, those are all personal preferences. It's up to you guys. Trigger dead zone, this is a super important setting, guys. Everybody's trigger dead zone should be set to none. A trigger dead zone is basically when you press down on the trigger to shoot, it's the response time that it will take for you to shoot. If you have it set to none, you have the fastest response time. Most people have this set to default because they obviously don't know what a trigger dead zone is, but if you have this set to none, you will always get the shot off first before your opponent, so you'll always have the upper hand. Super important setting, it should always be set to none. Your menu cursor speed, I have my menu cursor speed set to 9 ticks because it allows you to basically loot faster in death boxes. This is the speed of the cursor that you use to move around with when you are looting a death box. I have mine set to 9 ticks. 9 ticks and above is good. Anything lower than that is a no-go because you have to be able to loot super quickly in the middle of a fight. Okay. Look sensitivity, guys, this one is super important. Guys, if you guys play Apex Legends, look sensitivity is super important. Yours should be either set to 5 or above, okay? And I know it's really hard to kind of train and get used to look sensitivity. I would say go up 1 level each time. So if you're playing on default, go to 4 and go to 5 and just play like that each week. That's what I did to get to level 5. Nobody should play on default setting or lower than that. The next one is look sensitivity. This one is debatable whether it's a personal preference or not. I have mine set to low, and the reason being is because having a lower ADS sensitivity allows you to give you better aim, okay? But of course it gives you slower tracking, so when enemies are strafing around, it's harder to keep on target with them. But I like to have good aim, so I have mine set to low. However, having a higher ADS sensitivity allows you to track people faster, people like Octane, people like Bloodhound when they're inside their ultimate. But me, I just like to have mine on low for better aim. Definitely a personal preference, I would believe. Response curve, have mine set to classic, just like any other classic shooter, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Halo. Just classic. I don't really see any purpose on changing that, but do whatever you're comfortable with. Look dead zone, absolutely should always be set to small. This gives you better aim, okay guys? Look dead zone should be set to small. Movement dead zone should also be set to small. Okay, the next one is your video field of view. Guys, this one is super important. If you guys are playing with a field of view lower than 94, you need to go up, okay guys? 94 and above is okay. You can play on 96, 98, 100, 102. I don't care, so long as you're playing on 94 or above, and you can choose whatever's best for you between that. Okay guys, so I have mine set to max. That's just what I play. A lot of pro players play like that. A lot of pro players say playing on 100 is a perfect setting. Find what you're comfortable with, get used to it. Just don't play on anything lower than 94 field of view. But that pretty much is a wrap for all the settings. Try to go through this as quickly as possible because I've tried to do this video a bunch of other times and it ended up being like 15-20 minutes, like explaining all the settings and getting super into detail. But those are my settings. Those are what I believe should be changed, and if you do this, I think that you will definitely notice a difference if you just be consistent and practice with these settings on your controller. So that's pretty much it, guys. That is a wrap. And I've got a couple high kill games dropping, some more dual gun gameplays and stuff like that coming out, so subscribe if you want to see more of those coming up. And yeah.